Hi, 6th grade. Welcome to our second video. This is add and subtract decimals. So if you want to start a new page in your journal, go ahead and put your heading with the title of add and subtract decimals. So first, we are going to review some of the addition properties. And so you're going to take notes on these three properties. I'd like for you to write the name of the property down and the equation that is the example of that property. Our first property is the commutative property of addition. So the commutative property of addition, the way that I like to think about it is it's like flip-flop math. That means you can flip-flop the order of the addends. Remember, addends are the numbers that are being added together. You can flip-flop the order of the addends and it doesn't change the sum. It doesn't change the answer. So here's the example here. We can say 3 plus 8, or we could say 8 plus 3, and it would equal the exact same thing. Both 3 plus 8 and 8 plus 3 both equal 11. So that is the commutative property of addition. Okay, another way that we can say it is A plus B equals B plus A. Okay, it doesn't matter what order we write them in, they equal the same thing. Okay, here's our next property. This is called the identity property of addition. And the identity property of addition says that you can add 0 to any number and the number remains the same. So 37 plus 0 equals 37. A plus 0 equals A. So identity property of addition, you can add 0 to any number and the number stays the same. Our next property that we're going to look at is the associative property of addition. And the associative property of addition, it says that you can group add-ins differently without changing the sum. So we look on both sides of this equal sign. We have a 6 and a 9 and a 1 and a 6 and a 9 and a 1. So all the add-ins are the same. But on the left-hand side, we've grouped the 6 and the 9 together. On the right-hand side, we've grouped the 9 and the 1 together. Now remember, like what we went over a couple days ago with PEMDAS, which is the order of operations, whenever we see parentheses, we always know that we need to do whatever operation is inside the parentheses first. So when we look at this, we would know that on the left-hand side, we need to add 6 and 9 together first before we add that 1. But the associative property of addition tells us that it doesn't matter whether we add the 6 and 9 first or the 9 and 1 first, that either way we're going to end up with the same answer or the same sum. We can also look at it with variables here. So A plus B in parentheses plus C is equal to A plus in parentheses B plus C. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at Okay, so very quickly, we're just going to review how you add decimal numbers. It's pretty much the same as when we add whole numbers, we just have the decimal point that we have to be mindful of as we're adding. So let's do a little practice while looking at a word problem. So this word problem says, while on vacation, Eric went cross-country skiing on 3 different trails. The first trail took 1.75 hours to complete. The second trail took 2.4 hours to complete. And the last trail took 3.8 hours. How much time did Eric spend skiing on these trails? So as you can see, we set it up. We just need to add together the 3 different times that Eric took while he was cross-country skiing. So we have 1.75 plus 2.4 plus 3.8. Now as you'll notice, what we need to do is we need to line up the decimal point. Okay, that is the #1 priority when we are adding decimals. You have to line up your decimal points. So we're going to add these together. If you'd like to put zeros there as placeholders to help you, that's fine. So we have 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 4 plus 8 is going to give us 19. So we are going to put the 9 there and carry the 1. Then we have 1 plus 2 plus 3, which gives us 7. Now we can't forget the last thing we need to do is we need to bring that decimal point down so it comes straight down, and our answer is 7.95 hours. Okay? Now what if we wanted to find the estimated answer to that? If we wanted to estimate how many hours it took him to cross-country ski. Well, what we would do is we would round each of these decimals, and we're going to round to the greatest place. So for each one of these, we're going to round to the whole number, to the ones place. So 1.75, we look at the 1, and then we look to the right, which is the 7. And so that 1 is going to round up to 2. Okay, 2.4. Again, start at the 2, look to the 4. The 4 is less than 5, so that 2 is going to take a rest. It's going to be the same. So that also is 2. And then the 3.8, start at the 3, look to the 8. 3 is going to go round up to the number 4. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. So our estimated answer for that word problem would be 8, that it took him 8 hours. Okay, here are 2 different equations that I would like for you guys to pause the video and practice with. Good job. Okay, on the left-hand side, we see that our decimal addition problem is written horizontally. That is not my favorite way to do addition. I think it's way easier when it's written vertically. So feel free to rewrite it. Okay, so it would look something like this. Make sure your decimal points are lined up, and then you can start adding. Put our 0 there to hold that place. 6 plus, and bring down our decimal point. Yes, that is a great thing. If you want to just start by bringing down the decimal point, then you don't forget at the end. That's kind of a good habit to get into. So 6 plus 0 is 6, 2 plus 4 is 6, 1 plus 7 is 8, and 5 plus 3 is 8. Let's go over to our second one. Add a couple zeros as place value holders, and then we are going to start adding. So our answer should be 9,069, and that would be 10 thousandths. So 9,069 10 thousandths. All right, great job. So now let's take a look at subtracting decimal numbers. So when we're subtracting decimals, it's pretty much the same thing as when we add decimals. Okay, we set it up the same, lining up our decimal points and remembering to include the decimal in the answer. So let's go ahead and rewrite this one vertically. So it should look like this. We have our decimal points lined up, and we can start subtracting. Again, if you want to put that 0 there as a placeholder. And then why don't you take a minute and why don't you do this subtraction on your own and see what answer you get. Great job. Okay, so 6, you cannot take that away from 0, so we have to do a little borrowing. Okay, borrow from the 1, which becomes a 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6. You have your decimal point. And 7 minus 5 is 2. And 3 minus 0 is 3. So that was just a quick video, just a review of addition and subtraction of decimals. Hopefully that was all review from last year. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide and give you your practice problems for tonight. So for tonight, besides your video notes, I would like you to do 5 practice problems. On page 10 through 11, you're going to do problems 1, 13, and 19. And on page 12, I want you to do problems 1 and 17. Don't forget, video notes and practice problems both go in your journal. Hope you guys have a great night. See you tomorrow.